Andrea, you made me watch another Aurora Teagarden, and I tell you what, I am ready to discuss it. How about you?
I'm nervous because I don't know if this is the best one, but we'll see what you think.
You said that last time, so I don't know.
There's a trend. I mean, there's like 18
exactly.
to pick from. There's 18 to pick from. We just have not picked the best. We'll just say that.
Well, this is Eric.
This is Andrea.
And this is Hallmark Mysteries
and more.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark channel.
Okay, Andrea. Let's start with just some news that Hallmark has released.
Yeah.
We're wondering like, well, what's going on and everything. Some of the big news is they officially have said like all programming is essentially going to be aired on network and then a day later on the app. So kind of like normal Peacock works with NBC and Hulu and Fox and all that sort of stuff. But they also seem to be leaning into whatever you want to verb use into the unscripted with the announcement of Motherhood with Connie Britton. What do you think of that?
Okay, so the only unscripted one that I've watched is the Finding Mr. Christmas. Otherwise,
Well, no, you watched a couple of the date one with Ashley Williams.
Oh, I did watch that one. That one I did watch, actually. Yes,
okay,
take that back. Okay, I've watched those two. Which that's all. Like the Lacey one, isn't it just the Lacey and the Luke? And then the other two that I watched. So I watched half of them.
Yeah, 50%. There's probably another one that I haven't watched either.
I mean, it depends on what it is for me for the unscripted. Will I watch the Motherhood? Probably not, even though I'm a mom. Like it doesn't draw me in. I briefly read through some of the unscripted ones, and I sent you the mystery one. I'm like, that one is right up my alley. I will watch that. Otherwise, the rest of them, besides like Finding Mr. Christmas season 2, for sure I'll watch that because I enjoyed it. I'd watch the mystery, and I think that's about it when I scrolled through, unfortunately. What about you?
Well, that's the other one, Mystery House, which is Jonathan Bennett again, which he is going to be bringing in some amateur sleuths and into some house.
Like us. I told you, I was like, you need to get us on.
I'm pressing hard. All of our fans bombard Jonathan Bennett and all his posts about it. You can see how bad
I really am at solving things.
Yes, saying Andrea and I should be in there. I've tried sending messages to everyone at Hallmark, saying we need to. Though I don't know how much they're involved there in casting. I don't know any real casting people. Maybe I'll get a casting guest so we can put our 2 cents in there. But yes, a Mystery House, which is going to have sleuthers, I guess, solving a case, is my understanding. So I don't recall seeing when that's supposed to come out. The Connie Britton one's supposed to be fairly soon.
Yep.
But I don't recall seeing Mystery House. I'm guessing fall.
And so are all of those being released on Hallmark Channel and then the app, or these are strictly app shows?
I think these are strictly app.
Okay.
For the for the unscripted, I believe is strictly app.
Okay.
But they also released some other news, which you don't really know too much about. I just revealed a little bit.
And I got real excited about one name.
It's called 12 Dates of Christmas. That's the working title. It's based on a book. And it's scheduled to star, or it is starring, Jane Seymour, Mary McDonnell, and Mae Whitman.
I only know Jane Seymour, but I'm excited.
The premise is this younger woman she like works at a store. She bakes as well or something like that. But it is set across the pond and they are filming in Ireland.
Oh my, this has got my name written all over it.
I think it's going to be kind of like this year's holidays, because it's going to be a series, I'm guessing it's probably 12 episodes. I would guess being the name 12 dates of Christmas. But she agrees and gets set up to go on 12 different dates because I think she's a curmudgeon. It's kind of like a Bridget Jones feel kind of thing to it. So,
Love. Yes.
yes.
All in for this.
I saw it and I was like,
This is
Andrea
right up my alley.
will be there. And I'll tell you, Jane Seymour,
Love her.
love her.
Dr. Quinn.
What is it? Harry Wild over on, I think it's Acorn, not BritBox. Love that one. She's 70 something, still killing it. She is awesome. I put this out there. She starred in a very famous movie of, I think, the 80s, maybe in the late 70s, but called Somewhere in Time. And it takes place in Mackinac Island, Michigan. And it's always been on my wife's bucket list to go to Mackinac Island to stay at the Grand Hotel where this is filmed. And this summer, we are going to be going up there. So a little of the Jane Seymour spirit is strong with us right now.
My grandma went there like all the time on vacation. So I've always wanted to go. She always said it was wonderful.
It's fantastic. It's yes, actually it is so cozy. Can't have cars. You have to bike or walk everywhere you go. Everything is all like late 1800s type architecture. It is as cozy can be. In fact, we need to have like the Murder at Mackinac series or something like
that. Also, shout out to Jane Seymour's Hallmark movie that I might be on an island. Perfectly Prudence, because I think last time I mentioned it, other people did not like it. But
you had me watch it. It's okay. It's just definitely a little old
from Dr. Quinn. It's like both of them together, like Sully and Dr. Quinn. If you were a fan, I feel like you would enjoy this movie.
It wasn't terrible. It's just definitely old Hallmark.
Yeah, I mean, it was from 2011. It's cute. It's rarely airs. And I don't know if it's on the app, but that would be my Hallmark recommendation if you want to get in the Jane Seymour mood.
So I just flew out to Kansas City last week to just, personally try telling them we should be in Mystery House. But I did a post on Instagram where I showed our favorite sleuthers and then in their first role. And I had Lacey wrong. She was in Elevator Girl, which was a couple years earlier than the one that I
What'd you put?
had her first. I forget, it was like The Color of Rain or something like that. And I totally forgot about Elevator Girl. And so I downloaded it to watch on the plane. And I had seen it. It is cute. It's obviously it's a rom-com and all of the stuff. But it's
2010.
It's definitely like even the Hallmark genre. It's a little even pre that because just the pacing of the movie, the way like they just let things sort of go at a different pace where they had like long music montage as opposed to trying to get to that next, commercial break and everything like that. It just had a different feel, but it is super cute. So if you want to see Lacey in her like very, very first role, just not too much later than the Mean Girls type Lacey.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's cute. It's over on actually I think I had to go to Up TV. I have the app for that because I got it to watch some other things that are not there's certain rights for like old Hallmark things that Up TV has that Hallmark has not
kept up with
retained for some reason, and that Up TV has it. I'm going brain dead on Jane Doe with
I love Jane Doe.
That's where I downloaded it when I was getting ready to talk to Leah, and I had to download that to do it, and I was like, oh wow, there's actually a lot of stuff over here, so I'll just keep it.
I wonder if they have Murder 101 that I've been wanting to review with you with Dick Van Dyke.
I will give it a
yes, because I can't find that. I wish they would put that on the Hallmark Plus because I find those 4 movies. I mean, if you love Dick Van Dyke, they're great. Like he is. Those are some of his last actual, big time roles that he actually acted in. So,
what is it called again?
Murder 101.
Oh,
not mystery, right. Murder. These came first.
That's funny. That's right, because people are always yelling, saying, "Oh, show Murder 101. It shouldn't have been canceled." And I always would be like, do you mean Mystery 101 instead of, are you talking the Dick Van Dyke one?
Because those are great too, but there was just a four,
And they always get mad and say, no, the one with, Christopher and Jill. I'm like, that's not Murder 101. I do not believe it's on there. I just quickly looked it up.
Shoot. Well, I did watch 3/4 of an episode of Rosemary in Time.
Okay. It's a very different.
It is not an Andrea mystery. We'll say that. I know. I think you like maybe I'll like a different one, but that one, it's just a little slowish.
It wasn't my fave.
Okay,
either,
good. I was like, I don't know is it me? I'm like, I tried to like it, but.
The Shakespeare and Hathaway, has that been released yet on the app?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. We'll see how that one goes for you. That one's got a little more of the quirkiness to it. The Rosemary and Thyme, also, I would say, we've talked first episodes are clunkier and you're introducing characters.
Yeah.
So it does, I don't know, get a little bit better, I guess. But I'll say it was not my favorite, and I was surprised that was the one that they were leading with, because once again, they should just consult me, because I have a list and I could rank them and I would have it significantly better. And there's ones that I think fans would just go crazy over. But Rosemary, a lot of people do like it, because I've had a lot of people in their DMs say, "Oh, you've got to watch this one." And I'll admit, I have not watched, I think it's three seasons. I have not watched all 3 seasons. So, but
I'll try to finish it off and do another episode and see if it'll pique my interest at all.
So, well, I think we've put it off as long as we can. I think we have to talk Aurora Teagarden.
You reap what you sow. All right.
SEW.
Yes, I know. My autocorrect spelled it wrong.
I thought you were yelling at me, by the way, because
I
saw the
was yelling at
message,
myself.
And I thought you were saying that I spelled it wrong.
I spelled it wrong.
And then I saw that you were correcting yourself. I'm like, oh. After I'd sent you the little snooty text. But it was all in retaliation for you.
Again, how do I put up with Eric?
So mean on Crown Chats.
It wasn't mean. I said we banter back and forth, and then I placate to his ego at times.
So mean. I have no ego. I defer to you.
That was funny. Well, let's dive into Aurora. So when Aurora finds Poppy murdered in her, that's a fun name. I really like that.
It is.
It's fun. In her home.
Too bad she gets killed.
I know. The Real Crime Club members gather to discuss the case and end with 4 suspects and 4 motives. So this one for me, I tried to warn you a little. It's a 3 out of 5. For me, it's a solid middle of the road movie. It's not one that sticks out. It's not bad. It's just very forgettable. And as the movie was playing on, I think I've come to realization of why it kind of is that way for me, which I'll talk about here maybe towards a different segment that we talk about. But this one felt like it was just trying to make up for a lot of missing key characters. So, we have no love interest. Like this is the only movie that she's in between love interests, because the movie before, which I actually really enjoyed, I was going to make you at some point, which maybe we still will at some point, but The Last Scene Alive, that way you can see Martin and see the first love interest. That movie aired right before this one. So that was his goodbye movie. And then, now Mater comes in and plays Nick, the next movie. So we're kind of in this, like, where are they going with it? And I think they missed that piece, or, they tried to put Sally in as that piece, but I don't know if it's hard because a lot of them have a best friend. So now you're asking Sally to do a lot. And I think she can do a lot, but I don't think it was written well enough for her to do what she maybe could have done. And then her mom, Mary Lou, was not in this movie a ton either, really. She was in some other ones more. So they missed that person. And then Lynn wasn't in the movie as well. We just had Arthur, which the last one, I don't think Lynn was in either that we reviewed. So we keep missing Lynn for you, so you don't get to see her. I just feel like we put a lot on Candace's shoulders. I don't know if she is a strong enough lead in this one to pull it all the way together. I felt like she was maybe a little overacty, probably trying to carry this movie. So it seemed like she might have. I noticed it more. Maybe it's because I've done this podcast with you, Eric, but I'm like, shoot, this was one that maybe I didn't think was her finest acting job. And again, maybe I'm tainted by you right now for that one, but because I've watched other ones, I think she was much better in The Last Scene Alive when she had that co-partner back and forth. So, all right, what are you going to just hammer this movie?
I am, unfortunately.
Okay.
I gave it a 2.
Okay.
And here's a little story. I was watching it in the evening, and I was just watching on my iPad, and I fell asleep with 15 minutes to go. Never a good sign for a mystery when the final 15 minutes, when everything's coming together, you fall asleep. I woke up a little bit. I was like, oh, I fell asleep. So I woke up. It was like probably like the very ending where their credits are about to come up. So I fell asleep for, just shy of 15 minutes there. I'm like, all right, I'm awake. I can make it through. I'll power through. Fell asleep. I woke up halfway through the disappearing game. I'm like, that's it. I'll have to watch the rest tomorrow. So I woke up the next day, wide awake, went out, walked the dogs, did all my stuff, sat on the couch. Okay, time to finish it. I fell asleep again
I
watching
did
it.
not. Oh my gosh.
And I wasn't even tired, and it put me to sleep. So I think that's all you need to know about how much I enjoyed this movie. For me, it just didn't flow. It was just
That too.
weirdly.
Yeah.
It
Yeah. I agree
it
with you
just
there.
was disjointed, and
Yeah.
it like I was trying to get into it, and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
And the ending for me had no closure. It just sort of like okay, the actual crime was solved, but what about the dad and Nicole, their story? Because it sort of kind of ended. Lizzie and her boyfriend, the Bubba, was he arrested for the obstruction of justice, which he clearly did? Of course, it's a cozy, so we'll let it all go. But just it's sort of all the other things that are going on. Just it was just a weird ending too for me. And part of it could be maybe because I did watch it at a separate time, but it just didn't. The whole movie just for me just was clunky. And then also, I know this is Hallmark and everything, but it seemed that everyone just completely acted with an indifference to the fact that Poppy was killed. Like the dad was pretty much like, "Oh, my daughter is killed. Hey, Nicole, what are we getting for dinner? I was really curious. Do we want to try that new restaurant?" Like he just wasn't broken up like I think a dad should be. He let Poppy, or excuse me, Nicole, go all off saying basically she deserved to get killed. And he's like, oh, that's, whatever. Didn't even get upset. And then the fiance, or I guess almost fiance, he just seemed annoyed that she didn't accept the proposal. He wasn't actually upset that she was murdered the whole movie. He was just walking around all grouchy. And like no one seemed to be sad. I guess the most sad person may have been Aurora and her mom, but like it just for someone getting brutally murdered at 20 some years old, you think people would be a little more broken up than they were. And they weren't. So I don't know. And then the cozy mystery thing that always drives me crazy is when they just blatantly commit crimes. I've talked about it on Hannah, cut color murder, that kind of thing. When they just break into a place where Aurora comes in, oh, I've got the key to the house. Let's just go right in. And granted, they discover a dead body. But what if she was doing something she didn't want to be seen for? And so she had her front door locked for a reason, right? There's a lot of things you could be doing. You don't want Aurora stumbling up on you. So there. But here's what I will say. I've been very negative, but I will say Sally is phenomenal. It really, because like I say, I haven't watched all of them, but it is so clear why people with the prequel are upset about Sally, because that character and Lexa's performance is just off the charts good. She is fantastic. And I'll just like the three little things that she did that just had me chuckling and actually enjoying the movie was early on when she was revealing to Aurora the contents of the letters, like, well, there's this and this. And like she just was slowly saying, but there's more, but there's more. Loved it. And then when she's talking to Lizzie, and kind of Lizzie was the opposite with the, oh my gosh, now what'd you do? Oh, Lizzie, her reaction to there. And then when she revealed to Arthur that she maybe did abscond with some evidence from the murder scene, it's like, well, I seem to maybe have something I took from the crime scene. So there's that. And then the final comment was, it, yes, Candace, I think you said, she can't, in my opinion, she's just not a strong enough actor to lead a series. And when you see her up against, because the rest of the cast, I think actually was pretty darn good. Like Peter Benson, I think he was fantastic as Arthur. He really is good. Sally, like I just got through saying, off the charts good. And then when you see Candace and Mary Lou Henner, for God's sakes, once again, iconic good. And then when you see Candace up against these, she just sticks out like what doesn't belong. I even sent you the one clip, I texted you, I'm like, oh my gosh, this, I think she's supposed to be showing some emotion here, and it just isn't quite hitting. So there you go. Did not love it. This movie did nothing to get me over on the Aurora bandwagon. Just didn't.
I wouldn't expect it to. It's funny you said that about endings, because that's how I feel about kind of that last scene alive that I really enjoyed. When Yannick Beeson, who plays Martin, leaves, I kind of was like, wait, no, did he like leave the series? I can't, like, they left it in a very, again, just as you were saying with the emotions, I didn't know. Like, they left it in a, is he really gone? Yes, he is. And this was the way they dealt with it. So I don't know if endings is their thing. And then fast forward, when I was just at my parents' house. So my parents, my brother, and my son had came back down. And he was like, well, I got to finish this movie. He didn't. He just was trying to stay up past his bedtime, as a 9-year-old does. So I was like, fine, it's a Hallmark movie. You can watch the rest of Aurora. And so it was a Bundle of Trouble. And so that was on during the marathon. And so we had maybe watched, I guess, the last 45 minutes together. So it was so funny. My brother comes in probably 20 minutes to go. And we're all like waiting for that last commercial break. They come back in and everyone's like, well, that was wrapped up really quickly and very anticlimactic. Like it left on like 2 people had gotten shot and a baby was getting stolen and all of this is happening. And then it was like, and we're done in 30 seconds into the next scene. Everything is wrapped up in a bow. And you're like, wait, what? How did all that happen? My brother's like, well, the baby, it's still, what's going to happen with that? And then sure enough, the mom already had the baby again. And you're like, okay, somebody was just like, wrap it up. Let's do it really, really quick. So
it's like
again,
the big climax of the scene. Okay. Oh, wait, I got to go change my oil. I'll be right back.
We had 5 minutes to wrap everything up. So 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. So maybe that's not their strong suit, as I'm thinking about different movies that I've seen of Aurora's. Not like, again, the new Aurora with the, the one where they were in the restaurant and running around. Like that was an ending. So maybe they learned. So speaking of endings and speaking of the mystery itself for our mystery minute, I recalled as soon as I saw the person who did it, I was like, oh yeah, this one, I know it was her. I knew it was her, business partner. And so it kind of fell flat for me, I was saying, the second and maybe third time. I don't know how many times I've seen this one now at this point. And you know how we talk about this, how we usually don't care, but right. I feel like this one, it does kind of matter. Like I kind of was really not super invested because again, as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh, it was her. And then I kind of, I didn't really, there wasn't a ton of fun shenanigans. So it wasn't like a fun mystery to revisit. Probably why I don't revisit this. This is probably my 3rd or 4th time watching it, but it's not one that I've seen more than that. I will watch it if it's on as background, but like Bundle of Trouble, the one that I accidentally watched with my parents and my brother, that one I actually don't mind. I can't remember what happened, as I was watching, I was like, oh, I haven't seen this in a while and I actually don't mind it. But then as we watched the ending together, I was realizing maybe this is, again, of the 2016 to 19, era of mystery movies, there's a heavy theme to them, as we had learned from Dylan Neal. But I can really see that when I'm rewatching these, how probably hand tied a lot of them were to sticking to what, Bill wanted. And so I think some of that could be not to the writer's fault, but just to what they had to stick with. So that was kind of unfortunate. That's what I'm noticing as I'm revisiting these. I don't know if you've noticed that as you're kind of looking
Well,
back.
it's interesting because everyone's like, "Oh, I miss the old mysteries, the old mysteries." And as we are revisiting them, the glory of the old mysteries, and we're revisiting, like we just talked about, the Fixer Upper, isn't quite living up when we're looking at the current.
Yeah.
So I'll say for my mystery minute, kind of same notes that you had. And I, unlike you, hadn't seen it. But as soon as I saw Cara in the YouTube video and how she wasn't quite as talented as Poppy, like just owned it. Poppy, by the way, it's a shame she was killed because she's a fantastic actor and
Oh
she was
yeah.
so good, right? But immediately, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, she's killing her out of jealousy. Even before anything played out, I knew what was happening. And it had the exact same note you had, where while not knowing the killer isn't always, a bad thing, if they unravel it in a fun, interesting way, and they just didn't.
No.
So it failed for me in the mystery.
Well, then come to the romance because it kind of failed there since there wasn't one, for Aurora's character. She didn't have anyone. Lynn wasn't there for Arthur. And then we had the Poppy's boyfriend, who you're like, did he kill his girlfriend? That was the only real relationship beside her
Well,
dad, I guess, and April Tellick. Their
no. There's
relationship.
the relationship. The only romance there was Jason and Kara, and she knocks him unconscious on the kitchen floor as she
Well,
tries to kill him at the
that's
end.
like I don't count those because that was like a
That's
very like, hey, let's go on
that
a
was the
date.
only
Let's go
romance
on
in
a
this.
date. Yeah, there just wasn't any. So, and again, I don't think we've said many times we don't need romance in our
Right.
mysteries, but this movie could have benefited from something
Some
else going
distraction.
on. Something else needed to happen. Oh, well, character corner. I feel like we're going to have the same person. I have Sally.
Yeah.
She was just that steady second character throughout the movie. She had to do stuff that was, like tied her to the mystery itself with her cousin being accused of committing the crime. So I think that was kind of a nice, at least you're like, oh, there's incentive for her to want her cousin not to be accused. Plus she's a reporter, so she is, she asks the good questions. So loved her. I always enjoy Sally, and I thought she really shined in this movie.
And the other thing about her is, and we've talked about it, we kind of a broken record, but it's that nonverbal. She's great. Like whether it's her like little raise of the eye, shrug, or whatever, she's fantastic. I wanted to go with Nicole for April Tulloch since we were talking to her, but I think they just mishandled that character. They could have made it interesting. They could have added some suspense to it, and it just, as I said, it was just clunky. So I'm going to go with Bubba, who was played by Dave Collette, and he's also Chuck in Chronicle Mysteries, and he's Ben Ayer's best friend in real life. So
Oh, that's
I'll just
fun.
go with that now.
Bubba.
Bubba, like I said, the character was for a lawyer, and yeah, I know what I'm doing is illegal and all that. So there is whatever, but you know what? There really is no other. It once again could have been Mary Lou Henner, but as you said, they didn't give her anything. Peter Benson, he was fantastic in it, but it
He didn't
really,
have a ton either.
the only one you can give it to is Sally because she is so fantastic. Other than Bubba being Ben Ayer's best friend.
Well, Hallmark trivia time. I have a few different trivia pieces. So the first one we kind of alluded to, or I kind of discussed, but there were several absence of beloved characters in this one. So Detective Lynn gone. So there was a lot of exposition to explain why these characters were gone, which then takes you kind of out of the movie. So we have Lynn gone. We have Rose's boyfriend Martin gone. We have a juvenile delinquent turned bird dog, Perry Dell, which makes sense because in first movies he was like not someone you'd trust. Now he's in the murder mystery club. And then we also have John Queensland was written out of the series in Last Seen Alive, and that was Mary Lou Henner's partner or potential boyfriend. And so they wrote him out in the last movie as well as Martin.
Oh, she had a
we were
dude?
yeah. And so, and I loved him. I loved him. And so I was very disappointed to have him written out of the series because he added quite a bit. So all of those people, that's a heavy list of people. You're out some big people. And then we have an unfamiliar actor playing the newspaper editor in Macon Turner, who we've never met before. And so all of that makes it where I feel like we picked up on that, a clunky movie. Another fun one, Julia Benson is Peter Benson's wife, and she played Lizzie, the cousin who was accused of murder in this one. And then
Who
the last,
he accuses of murder.
yes,
And the irony is, in the movie, like, Bubba can't accuse his fiancée, his soon-to-be wife, of murder because it's awkward. But we have Peter Benson accusing his real wife. Of course, it's acting, but yeah.
And then my last one is the murder weapon is pinking shears, not a serrated scissors, because no seamstress is worth her stitch would ever refer to them as scissors.
Oh, look at
So,
you.
again, IMDb, baby. I picked out which ones. I was like, oh, okay. And then I just referenced to see if they were true. And I already knew the exposition part was true. So why we felt it clunky. What do you got for us?
This movie was not based off any of the books in the Charlaine Harris Aurora Teagarden series. Charlaine Harris is also a power weightlifter.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and she's in a woman's mystery writer club, like I forget what it's called, First Wives Murder Club or something like that.
Wow.
Or Sister Murder Club. I think that's what it is, something like that. But so my trivia though is James Rittinger, who played who I forget what his name is, the one who gets knocked out at the end, the young guy. He is also in 6 episodes of The Good Witch, also Murder, She Baked, and Garage Sale Mysteries, but he did not go by James Rittinger, which is what he is in this. He went by Jamie Swalm. So Jamie Swalm is James Rittinger. Same person, different name.
Very fun.
It seems weird. Like, it seems like it would be like a similar type name that you would switch, like, but Rittinger and Swalm. It's not like you would choose Swalm over Rittinger for, like, oh, I want a easier name, but whatever. So there you go.
Well, Hallmark and chill. What do we got recommended that is similar? So mine is a Murder, She Wrote episode, season 4, episode 6. It runs in the family. Jessica's British cousin, Emma McGill, who is also played by Angela Lansbury, is charged with an old
So she's a
flame's
dual
murder.
role in this one?
She does.
Nice.
I would highly recommend this one. This one is like a classic. They pull out little clips for gifts. Highly recommend this one.
Because she in real life is British, right?
I believe yes, she is. And so this one, like her cousin, it's like a more like and so it's really cool just to see how, because obviously Jessica Fletcher is pretty buttoned up, but her cousin is, an actress on the stage, and so Jessica acts, and it's cute. So I do recommend this one.
What season episode again?
Season 4, episode 6.
Okay. All right. For me, I will say the prequels of Aurora, if you want some Aurora, are better, especially the one that's coming up, A Lesson in Murder. Absolutely fantastic. So good. But let's move it on. I'm going to go over to Hulu and Murders in the Building. If you think about it, it's got the 3 of them, kind of like their own Real Murders Club, where they got their thing and they're solving the murder. So you got kind of the same vibe, just a whole lot better in writing, acting, everything you want to lay out there. But of course, it's got a Hulu budget, so it's got that advantage. Okay. But I'm also going to go now to a book. And there's a book called The Thursday Murder Club. And it's very similar to like the Real Murders Club. And it takes place in a senior living community where these older, I think it's 4 of them, all get together on Thursdays and they try to solve these unsolved murders. Similar to, well, I guess the Real Murders Club, they address a murder that took place. But they try to unsolve it. And Netflix has acquired the rights. It's being made into a movie. It was filmed over the summer last year, starring Helen Mirren. So should be pretty good. So that's coming out on Netflix. I know that when we way back when talked to Lisa Hamilton Daly, she was trying to get the rights to it and got outbid by Netflix. But it's a really fun, good book for people who like cozy mysteries.
Ooh, I love it. Well, Myrtle, which we have talked about before, I don't think we mentioned, it is now going to be a TV series, and I think it's going to be on Amazon Prime. So the book that I recommended, maybe about a year ago, it's just a mystery puzzle book. And so now it's going to be a series, which is kind of cute. And then I also will say, because I've watched this mystery on Netflix, The Residence, that's the Shonda Rhimes one. And I can't remember the leading actress. She was in Orange is the New Black. Loved it. I binged it all. Now I will say it does get like a little repetitive at times, some of the episodes. I don't think the episodes needed to be an hour in length, each one of them. But as long as she carries this movie, the detective, just her quirks and very monkish, just like the quirkiness of her. And so highly recommend watching The Residence. If not, if you're a mystery fan and you haven't watched it, it's a cozy one, because somebody asked if it was a scary one. And no, I don't like scary ones that are going to keep me up at night. So this one is a nice, fun, cozy. I didn't pick out who did it. I didn't know until the very end, even as they were going through it, the last episode. And I'm like, I still don't know who did this. And I was like, oh. So I was surprised.
Is it Taylor Schilling? She's the lead from Orange is the New Black?
No, it's Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black.
Oh, okay.
And I cannot remember her name off the top of my head right now.
It is Uzo Udoba.
See, that's why I can't remember it. Eric, you can't even read it off there. I was like,
I can't even read. Yes.
She's great.
Aduba.
She's great.
Aduba, I guess. Uzo Aduba.
Yeah. Now, next week, we are going to be reviewing Emma Fielding, Sight Unseen. So we're going to dive into the Emma Fielding. We had some requests, and so we will do that. And neither one of us, I don't think I've watched this since it originally aired. So I can't wait. I forgot that it was Men in Trees guy is the co-star. Married to Anne Heche for many years.
Oh.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, but okay.
Yes. Oh, did you ever watch Men in Trees?
Nope. I don't even know what Men in Trees is.
Oh, okay. Anyone who's listening, did anyone watch Men in Trees? Because my husband always makes fun of me. I always pick out the movies.
James Tupper.
Yes. I always pick out the movies or shows that get canceled after one season. And I thought it was such a delight. And then it was just canceled very quickly. But he was the star in that. So I was really looking forward to Emma Fielding because, I just came off from Men in Trees. So I'm excited to watch it again. I haven't really seen him in a ton others. So yay.
Well, there we go. Maybe we'll review a Men in Trees next time you ask me to watch Aurora Teagarden instead.
No, I'll make us watch one that I really like. So that way at least you get the best.
You keep teasing with the Julia's House, saying that one's really good, and yet we never watched that. And I've never actually taken my own time.
April Tellick wasn't in that. Since you're having the interview come out this week, that's why. Otherwise, I would have preferred that, but April was in this one, so that's fine. All right. Well, have a wonderful evening.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye, Andrea.